No, not anytime soon. Anyway, especially with what's going on.
We're sending it. Okay, hey everybody. So
Hey guys,
question from John before we start anything. Should John get a Supra? That is what just landed. What just landed in Derpiter land.
yep,
And
it's like the new, right? The news.
yeah. So should he get a Supra? Real car, by the way, not toy car.
I think Lance said no. Judson said no. It's gonna be the A90 Supra,
The manual spec.
the BMW Supra.
The A90. Sorry, the A91.
Dude, if I had the money for A91 and like no payments, done. No questions asked.
Wow, everybody's literally a super hater in here.
Lance, I do agree the 86 is better, but the Supra is like, I don't know. There's something about it.
It's because he drove one day.
No. It's not even that. Like, so, like,
Yeah,
all right.
it is.
Okay, other than driving, it was fun, but like, I don't know. I've always liked that body style, even before the body kits came out. Actually prefer them stock with a good offset wheels and lowered. I mean, it's low enough, but I mean, like, if we're talking about fitment, right?
What if he did an MK4 with, what is it, the B58 motor? Is that what it is under the A90?
Yeah.
Instead of the 2J. That would throw some real haters out there. Could you imagine? It's like, oh yeah, I've got all the latest technology in my MK4 or Mark IV.
Right.
And then you pop the hood and they're like, what the crap did you do to this thing? You horrible person. You'll never be able to run a Super to the max. 86 on mountain roads will always be better. I mean, it's John driving, right?
What's that supposed to mean?
It's John driving.
I mean, supercharged, yeah. Thought about it.
That's pretty conservative.
That voids my warranty.
Everything voids your warranty.
No, it's an idea, right? Like, if I was gonna have like that car, that's like cool. We're gonna do a nice fast car. It'd be nice to have a Supra. It would just be like, oh, he's got a Supra that he drives on Sundays. That's about it.
The GR is ugly when it's like sky high and the monster truck fitment. I do like the GR like down low.
Lowered.
Yeah. At the same time though, like the troubles that I'm having with my lowered life right now, or was having actually, not
Don't
anymore.
even give me that.
No, I am back. I am back up in like half inch. No, 3/4 of an inch, and man, I can do everything now. It's great.
All right, I'm sending the group. Oh, so this is on the midnight group, the in the core midnight group. I'm sending the picture of my current fitment, just so people see it. Or here, I'll send it on the Discord too. Let me open it up.
Is it gonna be
just so you guys could roast that fitment?
Is it gonna be a? No, put it in the Discord.
I know. Hey, I don't do Discord all the time, so bear with me.
Yeah, I don't do Discord either.
Okay, let's see. Message. Oh, how do you do this? Jesus. Oh, plus. We're old guys. Well, I'm old.
Cameron, are you talking about hypothetically, or are you talking about tomorrow? Let me know. I don't know how bad the delay is, by the way.
What's Nitro Basic? It's making me pay.
You shouldn't have to do that. Hey, I just saw your topic, Kaza. That we can definitely do that. We will go over that. In fact, I will copy and paste to my little docu sheet thingy. So if you do have any topics that you want to throw in Discord, there is a section called Topics and Ideas. throw it in there if you want to hear anything. Just make it semi-relevant to what we think is relevant.
Oh, okay. It's making me buy it. Screw it. Yeah, I sent it to the group, so you should just be able to like
Making
copy
you
it.
making you buy what?
It's making me buy subscription so I can send you guys pictures.
In Discord?
Uh-huh.
You shouldn't have to.
Right?
Let it be known that John does not know how to Discord.
Yep. That's why I don't use it. I don't reply to any of the messages.
You have so many blown out
Oh yeah,
highlights
so
now.
it is a big yeah. Adam's got you guys. He's working on it.
Yeah, leave it
He's
to
like Oregon Road Fitment.
leave it to Facebook to compress all the photos. And when I mean all the photos.
Yeah.
So that's not organ fitment. That's still pretty low. Like, I'm not able to get that low. Or if I would have went with the right profile, I might be able to get that low.
So you want to know what's funny about that fitment?
It's not your right tires. It's not your right wheels.
Yeah, it's my whatever wheels, right? Oh, what? Why is this open? That's why. My work Facebook things opened up, and I'm like, no, I don't know any of this, guys. But no, so the funny thing about the 8.6 right now, the way it sits, is I actually had to raise up the front end so I can clear those wheels or those tires, because so the wheels are 18 by 8.5 by the offset is plus 35.
You're still running the spacers, huh?
Yep. So because I wanted to see if I can make it look drifty-ish kind of stance. I've always liked that look. So I'm like, yeah, screw it, I'm gonna try it. I literally couldn't even put my finger in there when it was like the way it was with the factory wheels with the spacers.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to raise it up so I can actually like go down the driveway, go to Safeway and whatnot, and like do the daily driving thing, right? And then the back, those are 18 by 8.5 plus 40. Yeah, plus 40. So I'm able to clear the rear fenders without hitting them. So, but yeah, I'm running a 1-inch spacers all the way around. So
That's
I did scrape last night coming home, or I guess this morning at like 12:30 on I-5, or no, basically I guess I was on 84 already. So I-5 84 on ramp, there's like a little dip that I completely forgot about. So it went right when I was hitting it. I was like, oh crap, there goes my fenders. But I got lucky. I didn't hit fender, so we're good.
okay. Stupid two-factor authentication.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Adam.
What?
Oh, the Discord thing.
Yeah, I
Feel
got
free to
you.
reply on that, guys.
Here, since we're actually talking about lowered cars here, let me find.
I would love to rally the 8.6.
Dude, everybody in the other chat tells you to. Oh, Lance is. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, everyone in the other chat tells you to.
No, it would be cool, right? To rally the car. The problem is, I would have to get. Oh, I guess so. I guess I could run a factory suspension and do dirt tires.
Mm-hmm.
If drifting this year is not as good anymore, and I end up getting a Supra in the next year, we'll rally the 8.6.
Okay, so in Discord, I just posted my video of me pulling out of a driveway after we dropped my car on coils. So fun stuff.
Nice. Oh.
Which I'll admit, I think that we just. Well, I don't know. I feel like something was off, but I don't think my car does that anymore with being a little bit higher. Okay. Was around 750 plus insurance. 750 car payment plus insurance. I mean, that wouldn't be too bad.
It's kind of bad for. I'm not rich, so yeah, no, that'd be kind of bad. So the insurance. So this is just so people know. Um, I'm brown, Filipino from the islands. Um, the problem is insurance for my kind is a lot more expensive. When you are married to a white woman and the insurance is under her name, your insurance drops significantly. We're talking about my insurance now. We only pay about 2/5 of what it used to be. So if I got a Supra, my insurance would be in the $500 to $1,000 a month.
A month?
Yes.
A month.
So when I first got the 86, my insurance, well, our insurance went from, because before I just had the liability on the Lexus, our insurance went from 200 and some change to $489 and some change.
Hmm.
So that was pretty insane. And then, of course, now that we're back on a different insurance company, our insurance is back down to the 200 and something change. Part.
Cameron, that's a big NO. John is not
Cameron, you're
Samoan.
racist.
No, what's racist? Well, it's not even racist, but usually everyone thinks I'm Filipino.
And everyone thinks I'm Mexican, but I'm like, guys, I'm like almost 6 foot.
I just think
How am I
you're.
Mexican?
I just think you're a Joey Tam lookalike.
Oh, I said that to James the other day. James like, are you serious? Because he was there on Friday night, driving around and stuff. So
I mean, it's a thing. If you look at Joey Tam's video, or not video, but just like picture, yeah, there it is. Okay,
that's them.
it's not messed up. Okay. If that's a male thing, my car is just for me 489 liability. It's all in K's name. There's, yeah. I've never tried that because both like all of our cars are under Crystal and me, right? So it's like we just.
But yeah, but if Crystal's primary on the insurance, it's cheaper. And a lot of your insurance companies now, if you are with white significant other, they'll put it under their name.
Maybe
It's a
I should
thing.
try that. Yeah, maybe I should try that.
Yeah, try to call for insurance for your car just randomly, and then tell them that it's under your name. Your insurance will double at least.
I mean, my insurance has always been what it is because I've always been the primary on the insurance. So I don't know any better, to be honest. Like
Well, it's
for
at least for me. And yes, like no, because those stopped already. It's been a while.
well, so for me, right? We have full coverage on the Corolla. We've got full coverage on the Jeep. We've got only liability for the Monster right now, just because. And it's $11.29 for 6 months. So if you split it up, what does it end up to? Like 200 something, somewhere around there. Anyway. So like,
I want to share something real quick, guys. This is gonna age me a little bit, but this is how drifting used to be. That's 10 years ago at the Hobbytown parking lot in Happy Valley, Oregon. Yeah, asphalt, duct tape, and cones.
I mean,
And this is I want to say this is like Yokomo One Wings era, or let's see, my 86 is right here back in the day. But yeah, this was about 10 years ago. Yokomo One Wings, or this is this time where we started doing HPIT drifts. I thought I'd share that. I just popped on Facebook real quick, so
sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to close down the sign-up sheets for the competition tomorrow.
Oh, we're not using that anymore.
No, we are. It's just I'm closing it down because I think Jake already submitted the actual list of names.
Gotcha.
So, hey everybody, welcome to the chat or welcome to the stream. I'm Adam, that's John. We just talked about ourselves in our cars, and welcome to tonight's Drift Topics or RC stream, whatever we want to call it. So let's go ahead and just start it off while I kind of split brains here. We're going to start off with calendar events, and then we'll go into product watches and whatever we want to do. If you do want to post your picture in the Roast My Rig section, and we can open it up to anything car related, please, that is G rated, then go ahead and throw it up in there. No socks. No socks. To do product watch, we've got a few things, and then we've got other questions that just pop up throughout the through the week. Cameron, you're one of them. Well, actually, you're like the majority of them. So if you feel singled out, there's a reason why, because no one else asks me questions or just posts in the like Facebook pages or anything like that. Sound check. Are we coming through clear? Are we sounding okay? If we do, that is cool. All right, calendar topics. So, Tandem Tuesdays. PDX just had their first Tandem Tuesday. It sounded like they had, 7 guys compete and then did a quick single elimination thing, I think. But they just kept on running.
I wasn't there, so I don't know how it happened or who. I know who won because it was posted.
Yeah, so I kind of, it's funny. I kind of feel like, because it's Andy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Andy won. Andy won the competition, which I think is hilarious because he's only been he's been drifting for a while. He's been drifting real cars, but RC cars for he was at the deli for a bit, and then he kind of washed out, and then he came back because now it's a thing again. Mm-hmm. And it's not just a thing, it's a big thing, huge thing. So he comes in and he literally places first in the competition.
Wait, which competition are you talking about?
The Tandem Tuesday.
Okay.
I mean, it legitimately is a competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
As small as it is, it's still just something to do. So competition is competition. It helps guys to grow.
Yeah.
And there's not really you can't combat that too much. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Pictures coming through. Roast my rig.
All right. Yeah. So tomorrow, PDX Underground or RC Underground is closed because everyone else is going to be at the Fitted Car Show at the Expo Center for our
at Andy's racing it.
Or everybody's going to be at Andy's for racing buggies and off-road stuff, and then us drifters will be at the Expo Center to do our round 2 for the Super G series.
So round 2, where is it at? The Portland Expo Center. What's the fee to entry? It's free. Wow, that sounded really weird. How much does it cost to enter the show? That's better. It's free as long as you register at challenge.com. That's right, you heard it first. Challenge.com.
But you already closed that.
Oh, I'm trying to. I don't know how.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay. Anyway, so as long as your name is on the list, then that's what we want. Well,
let's see. Free entry, register, blah blah blah.
Yeah. You cover it. I'm gonna look at this for a second.
Okay. So for the competition, the spec tire is gonna be DRC. Bring your own. Jake might have a few to get rid of. Those are brand new. Guys, the newer the better. You do get better traction that way. And then I guess we will be announcing your name as they see it on the participant screen. We'll go over that. I think that's more of a note for us. And then
Logan's original username for challenge Okay, because we see his name, right?
Hot dog racing.
Yeah. Well, it's OG 2 times hot dog champ.
Nice.
Ah, what is up
Oh,
with?
so after the competition, I guess we have the 624 and 625. It's the RC Hoarders RC swap meet in Happy Valley for Hobbytown. I almost said Hobbytown USA, but they're no longer Hobbytown USA. They're just
So
now Hobbytown.
they got out of the franchise.
It's still a franchise, but Hobbytown removed the name the part of the USA thing on their name.
Okay.
I'm sure it's some sort of legality or some just I don't know to make it more diverse, something like that. I don't know. But the address for that location over in Happy Valley is going to be 10317 Southeast 82nd Avenue, Happy Valley, Oregon, and I believe it's 97015 if I'm not mistaken, or 97086 for the zip code. Registration to have your own or registration is $15 per day or $25 for both days. This is if you want to be there to sell your stuff, it's $15 per day or $25 per day. I think you can have your
No.
own table under the awning.
It's $25 for both days.
Yeah. So call ahead to reserve your table. I'm sure there's actually a bunch of people trying to sell their stuff. It's gonna be bashers, Gundams, train stuff, what else? Planes, helicopters. I think there's gonna be a couple drift cars that's gonna be out there for sale. But it would be a good thing to check out if you're looking for more toys.
Apparently, I'm just gonna remove the link from the event.
Oh yeah, that'd be easier, right?
Yeah, just a bit.
Oh, can we cover this real quick?
What?
About tomorrow's comp. What time do we have to be there, Adam?
Call time is
Wait. If we're only competing, what time do we have to be there?
10 o'clock.
If we're setting up, what time do we have to be there?
10 o'clock?
Oh, so we go in, we set up right when they open?
I believe so, which actually brings to a point. So tomorrow is going to be a cram-packed day, you guys, like, because what we're dealing with is that we're dealing with a time frame that we start at 10, and that includes setup. Okay, so setup as well as like giving you a little bit of driving time, giving you a little bit of time to prep your cars, all that stuff, giving us time to make the track, to clipping points, to qualifying, and then right after that we're going to run into tandem battles, like probably as fast as we can. So pretty much actually opposite, all hands on deck is kind of a bad thing. So whoever's working on the track, leave them be. Like if we need help and it looks like we need help, only help if we ask you and like to come and help, because too many hands on the track can get a little bit more complicated than it should be. We've never done this before, so if it's cool, then cool. We might do it again at a different car show, but if it's more, honestly, like it's kind of doing a disjustice to the scene, because I'd rather see like a whole bunch of tandem cars like in trains rather than a competition. But I do think it's cool that we get to host a competition at the car show too, because then they get to see that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. And guys, the sooner we can set up, the sooner we can finish the comp, the more we can be driving after the comp.
Yep.
Because I believe they close at 5, and I think the last time we did a small comp over at PDX, we went through it pretty quick. And we did do lunch too. So if we just run through it, I think we can be done with the comp. I want to say about 3 or 4. That will give us an extra hour or 2 to drive and just open track time. So.
Yep.
All right. I'm also replying to messages on my end because James was asking what time we will be there.
Yeah, so I think just regular call time is 10. I know that in our other chat we were talking about 9, just so that we'd be up there at 10 ready to go. So however you do your timing, however you do your timing. 10 o'clock is the call time, because what they do for that event center is that everyone has basically, there is a certain time that they open the doors and everyone has to get in and clean their cars and do all that fun stuff. So that's the time that we're going to be in, and hope to God that we're going to have no hiccups at all.
Mhm.
Yeah, so speaking of that, like, hopefully, like, judging goes by really, really smoothly. The calls are clean. We'll have a lot more pressure on us because we'll have an entire car culture watching as the competition goes by too. So there is that aspect. John, be here at 8:45. Let's get there early. Let's do another breakfast, you guys. Maybe.
That's something we got to talk about again.
Okay. So that day, the last competition day, for the fun comp, I had to leave my house at like 5 in the morning.
Well, yeah, because you said let's meet at 7 a.m. for breakfast.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were
2
gonna.
hours away.
I didn't know that they were gonna be that fast, and that well, it was only like 6 of us, right? So yeah, they got our table really quickly. Anyway,
Right?
okay, so yeah, be respectful at the competition as we run the competition. If you do have a contest, do the contest thing. We're gonna try to make the drivers meeting, because we need to have a drivers meeting too, go pretty quickly. Oh, I need to start charging my speaker. I will do that pretty soon here.
For the guys that are local and you have an extra battery, just in case I need it. Thank you. I run 4 mil batteries, by the way.
So that means no
Or
one
4
has
mil
your
plug.
no one has your battery.
Great.
No. But seriously though, if you do have multiple batteries, make sure that they are charged and ready to go. I'm pretty sure we'll have power there. We're not 100% sure because it's an event center, and usually when we do a track there, we have to pay for the power that's there. So unless someone wants to help out with like the $130 for power or something like that, I think it's going to be there. Hopefully it is. No promises. 4 mil gang.
Yeah. Well, so like I have the adapter for 5 mil also.
Because you're running
just in case.
You're running the Racing plugs, right?
Yes.
Jake has bad stories about those. Only because they kept on coming out. That's all.
Yeah, I do check him every now and then. It's been a habit to like actually like check my car and my suspension and plugs, make sure they don't come off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go hang out in Discord for a second here.
Yeah.
We're gonna check out some rigs, which I've already seen Judd's rig, Judd livery, all that fun stuff.
Did I really close it again?
It's just an RDX. So okay. Is it bad? Is it bad that I can just say it's just an RDX? Because that's all that it is.
I mean, you can keep saying that, right? But I did win a competition with my RDX.
I know, but you know what I mean? Like, so far there's minimal parts for it.
Well, I mean, okay, so if we want to classify chassis again, the RDX is what it is. It's a plastic fantastic.
I know, but that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it's just an
it's
RDX.
just an RDX.
So I'm not offended if you say it's just an RDX.
What I will say that offends me is this ZX chassis that's in the chat with this D10 motor. Does it have an upgraded? Oh, it's Austin.
Dang, Adam's just out here offending people all day.
It's called Roast My Rig. Let's actually roast rigs. No, honestly, the car drive's fine. Actually, have I seen this car drive? I don't think I've seen this car drive.
I do like, so I would say I like the body post. I don't like the wiring. It looks like my car right now.
Alex Burton would kill. He would.
Yeah, Austin, Alex is gonna be hitting you up and be like, I need to solder your wires.
It's like, you're lucky that he's busy.
Right.
Da-da-na-na-na-na.
Oh, we got Jake's cars on here too.
Oh, MC2 and
I don't know how I
MC1.
feel about that one.
MC2?
Yeah,
Um,
I haven't driven it.
so when I was talking to Rob Nick about the MC2, he basically put it as it's not going to drive like an MC1. It's not going to drive like a Yokomo. It's just going to drive like a pan car. And sure enough, like, because I've driven Chris the Establishment's GRK, and I've driven Jake's MC2, and yeah, they kind of just drive. That's about it. Oh,
Yeah,
so Austin ZX is Judge ZX. So does that mean
gotcha.
is Judd just straight only the RDX and the
Final form.
Phantom? Yeah, the Phantom, the final form. Oh, check this out. So Lance or Vincent.
You mean Vincent?
Yeah, I mean Vincent.
Hey, Vincent.
He's trying
Wait,
to.
we didn't finish roasting the ZX.
I mean, what do you want? Do you have any topics?
Oh, I thought you were done. Other than the D10. Okay,
I mean, you said you like the body posts.
I like the body posts. I hate the wiring.
I think
Just
the
'cause-
body posts are vile.
Huh?
The body posts are horrible.
I mean, come on. It's better than if he had like body posts sticking up the body and stuff.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
that, but
They're functional.
look, it's the plastic parts.
No,
Yeah,
on the front, yes. Oh
And
no,
and the rear. No,
wait, hold those. Oh, those are the servo mounts, huh?
yeah, and the rear is like the cheap servo mounts, like the RPM things that you can get. Like they're functional, they work, but that's
They're
it.
functional. I'll give them points for that. That they're functional.
Honestly, Austin, I would take the spacer out from the front and then flip those servo mounts to the back of the shock tower. That way it kind of cleans it up front. But hey, if it drives, it drives. Like,
So the MC, is it the MC2?
MC2. Yeah.
Yeah, the wiring's pretty cool. I like that.
Now the
Maybe
real
they
question
have
is this Jake's wiring or is this Japan wiring? Because I think he bought this off of Bai as well.
I
And
mean, either way, that's a pretty clean wiring job.
mhm.
Same with the MC1. I like that. That's clean.
Mm-hmm. And same thing. If this one, yeah, this one has the plastic front cross member.
Oh, the overdose plastic.
No. So on the MC1, if you're looking at it, you'll see the Rev D, where the top of the swing arm is, right, for the uppers. So just behind that, you'll see that like where the servo would have been, it's plastic. And the only reason why I know it's plastic is because I've seen it in person, right?
Yeah, see, I didn't even see that until I zoomed in.
And I offered Jake an aluminum one, and he wanted to keep it plastic because that's how he got it from Japan.
It's like, so that's Jake's secret, huh? He comes with cars that he bought from Japan, so they're all ready to go.
He comes with JDM spec tunes, yeah,
Right?
like legit JDM spec. His tuner is Japan. He has to send his car back every month. No, not at all. But yeah. Vince's hey, Bob Rock.
So I do like all the purple going on. So I think Lance had a 3D printed version of this at one point.
So no, this chassis is actually really, really cool, other than the fact that it looks like it's supposed to be a quadcopter frame. But
I think that makes it cool though, because it's different than your typical chassis that we see.
right, like
With the flat neck.
it's like a legit ladder frame, right?
Mhm.
So this entire thing, except for like the Yokomo aluminum, is custom made. Like it's a one-off. I guess it's not a one-off, but like he bought the STL files or whatever for the actual chassis. He 3D printed it, and even the 3D printed version of it was pretty darn stiff. And after he
it's cool.
yeah, after he confirmed that it worked, then he had the guy that cut our Midnight Mini chassis cut out one of these too. So yeah, he was doing some high weight shift stuff the other week.
Nice.
Yeah. So I can show you my I have a secondary camera up here, so we'll do a little bit of show and tell, hopefully a little bit better. It's funny because like I ordered one part and then I had to order like 4 more parts just to support the one part. This, like, you thought RC stuff was expensive. Camera stuff is expensive.
Well, we know that. That's why I don't have a DSLR.
Okay. Austin is saying body posts are that way so I can run all my bodies on both chassis I have. I mean, okay.
Yeah, I like that idea. I wish I could do that with my current cars.
Doesn't Austin have, like, didn't he order some of those Pogo Pin 3-pin connectors from Japan?
The other Austin, I'm not sure. He was supposed to be there last night, but I guess he did camping instead, and he hasn't replied to any of our messages.
Oh, so he just ghosted everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different Austin, by the way.
Okay, but it's an Austin.
Austin there. This Austin left early yesterday. Because I guess he's been there all day with Judd.
See, okay, here's the funny thing. I got to the point where I was going to Northwest on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, right? I got like the common joke is that if I lived at Northwest, mainly because everybody that was there was on there on Thursdays and Sundays for like race days, right? So that was the common denominator between everything. It was just the joke. I feel like Judd is like at the track more than I ever was. But you know.
Austin.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, keep on posting your pictures, guys. This is fun. Because we can always do this. Is your car called Lizzo? Wow.
Didn't we talk about this last week?
Lizzo?
No, the beast mode for RDX.
No, because Azza posted it like after the fact.
Gotcha.
So yeah, if you hop into the general chat of Discord, there's a picture of the Team Jordan or the beast mode of the RDX. It's kind of cool. Like, it's different, right? But at the same time, I don't know how that's going to affect the car. It seemed, and I don't know if they're actually using like a carbon fiber or if they're sticking to this like plexiglass looking stuff. Because it's only like $160, I think.
Oh, quick question for you, not topic related. Did the original list that we had before today make it to the cut?
What was the original list?
Like all the people that's competing that actually signed up on shawlaunch.com.
I mean, okay. So here's my take. And yes, because James is the last entry that I have here. He was the last entry that you asked me to add, basically, because he was having troubles. So that's all. So as far as the original entries, I hope that everybody was listening and that they registered, because I've only been telling you guys for the past 4 weeks. So yeah. It's not like it's not like I haven't been trying, right? It's more the fact that if they're not there, then they're not there. So It is what it is. I do kind of think that things are going to be a little bit fumbled for tomorrow. We'll find out. It'll be what it is, but hopefully, like I said, hopefully the I'm not a new reg, right? Alex. Why? You're not a new register, but you need to be on the list, right? No. So the whole reason why we're doing the challenge.com registration is so that we have a list of people that are competing. Dang it, Alex. Okay.
Check Alex, check with Jake.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you're on there. Don't quote me on that.
I gotcha. Well, I'll add it to the name. If anything, then at least, well, okay. As long as Alex isn't late, Alex, I'm looking at you. As long as you're not late, then you can at least come in with us, right? Just don't be late. I'm actually looking at the camera, so don't be late. Lance, you got this. Okay. Yeah, and I should put him in his Axel F. No, I won't. Got
He
nothing.
said, yeah, nothing.
I mean, I feel like Lance is the responsible adult for Alex. There, I did say that. Okay, no, I take it back. Kayla's the responsible adult for Alex. I'll accept that. Okay.
Oh, so RDX Beast Mode. Looking at the pictures on their page, or the Team Jordan. So I have a problem with everybody. Well, it's not a problem. It's more like a complaint. I haven't seen a cool carbon fiber upgrade for RDX yet. Something that I'm gonna be like, oh crap, I gotta buy it. None. And I've been kind of watching it just to see. I don't know. It could just be me.
Hold on. Oh, did I not do it? Oh, I didn't. I don't have one here. Window capture. Yes. I'll use the Discord one. Just don't mind me. I'm just popping stuff randomly up on chat or up on stream here.
Yeah, so as cool as that, well, yeah, I wouldn't even say that. I'm very picky when it comes to that kind of stuff. And Adam will know I'm more, if it's aesthetically pleasing, I might be more inclined to be like, oh, I like that.
So not even that, right? It's honestly, John is basically, if it doesn't fit aesthetically, it doesn't matter at all. Like, at all.
Well, I'm just, that's my opinion.
I mean, he literally bought an MC1 for the battery mount.
Yes.
Literally. But, okay. So, things we already know about the RDX. The RDX stock, right, has a high motor mount position. It has its battery, like, right in front of the toe blocks, which is pretty much where everything is, right? The servo is in usually the normal place. However, they made an upgrade with the fancy carbon fiber arm to relocate the servo to the back, where pretty much right next to the battery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is moving the... hold on, they probably can't hear me again. No, they can't hear me. Okay, yay, okay. So, okay, moving the battery up top is going to be more like a LTS system, right? The Yokomo SD 1.0 with LTS. I would imagine that it's going to do great on like asphalt or like the outside environment, lots of bumps, lots of things like of that nature, right? I don't know what it'll do for like the actual performance in a competition. I think it would degrade it a little bit more than it helps. But everything on this chassis is now high mount, right?
Yes.
And as far as flex goes, I don't know how flexible that chassis is. If it is like super like not flexible, then I think that'll be for the best because that's how you're going to transfer weight better. But other than that, I'm not a fan of this plexiglass look. Like, give me carbon fiber.
That's a prototype, right?
I hope that's
It
just a
is.
prototype.
I'm sure the new carbon will come out, and it's gonna be the conversion for the RDX.
Second picture is low battery. Gotcha.
There's option. There's also like an option where you use the same mounting style like the RDX has now.
Oh, cool.
The
Will be
servos all the way back.
will be carbon fiber, so that's good. That'll be
Oh, they're
good.
taking pre-orders.
Yep. Do. Okay. The whole Koi chassis, I'm not about that.
You're not a fan?
Like, you know what they're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I see it all the time.
And his name is like Tran Hoi, that's doing all these concepts. And I'll admit that he's putting in the work and he's making some really cool looking things. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, I feel like they're all for look and all for show. I don't feel like they're actually meant for performance because some of his stuff is like completely off the wall. Like, have you seen the magnetic levitation suspension system that he put out?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Think of a suspension where you don't have to worry about springs and everything is going to be done by magnets. It's a pretty cool concept, but other than that. Okay. What else do we got?
So even the FR or the Rev D conversion kit to carbon, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
it's FRP. So the actual Rev D separated deck is FRP. The Team ADK, the brand name of the 3 pole pin pogo pin connector, that was a pretty sick picture. That was a pretty sick chassis.
Is it Team AD or AD Team or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Like, it looked pretty darn cool. Hold on. Switching
We're just ripping apart all this people that's making chassis for the RDX.
I mean, no.
Yeah, let's see. Team AD. Let's follow what that's Yokomo official. I'm just gonna go look at Austin's picture.
Oh, why can't I find it? Live streaming wrap up. So Bob Rock is in the chat. He also has a live stream going on too. What's going on, Bob? If that's what you go by. Do this SPO 3D servos have tunability with it? No.
I didn't read that question.
That's why I read it for you.
I'm not reading the chat. I'm trying to send links to people.
So, okay, SPO3 is specific to Yokomo programming, right? So the only servos that are programmable via 10px, 7px are going to be the Futaba servos. Everything else requires a separate program adapter or card. What I'm trying to find is I'm trying to share a screen here. Oh, screw it.
I'm trying to get to messages and like I keep getting distracted.
I'll do it this way. There we go. So these are actually kind of cool. These are the new wrap-up uppers that I found the other day. Not cheap. I think they're around like $90 or something like that. They're not out yet either. But they give me a wrap-up, or not wrap-up, because these are wrap-up. They give me what do you want to call it? Overdose. They give me the new Overdose upper, like those vibes. They'll come in their
Right.
standard colors, purple, red, and black. They look really, really cool and really, really functional. Honestly,
Did you already send your order in?
no. Wrap up stuff is so random though, right? Because like when it appears in the States, it's almost like fire sale in terms of
Yeah, they're
everybody
already
wants it.
discontinued.
Right.
But I wanted to share this before we get too far from our chat. That's how I'm gonna share that. That's the Team AD or AD team. That's a chassis that they're doing. It looks pretty cool, but it's not quite there yet for me. There's too much going on. I think the MC1 deck is probably the coolest deck as far as like chassis conversion kit. Oh, and then there's the Midnight Mini. The Midnight Mini is definitely a plus.
Well, but the Midnight Mini is literally just the MC1 deck.
Yeah, but better because you can fit a auto body on there.
Something like that. Okay. But yeah, these wrap up next uppers, I really do think are going to be a pretty good hit. A little bit of adjustability here and there. However, this whole thing right here, you'll see it in a second, John. The whole caster adjustment of it, like I feel like you have to add washers to like really solidify what it's doing. So instead of just being able to adjust one screw, you have to adjust two screws. Literally take one screw out completely and then adjust for it. So it's kind of a wash there, but still some pretty cool parts from the thingy, from Wrap Up. Other than that, there hasn't been really too much stuff, like new stuff, like at least not as far as actually out. Nothing, and unless you're talking about micro stuff.
Is Midnight gonna come out with RDX conversion kit? Gonna be the Midnight RDX.
I mean, but what are you gonna do, right?
Cooler chassis, more functional. Honestly, I don't know. I just want like a better looking chassis from all the manufacturers before I convert.
Okay.
Or I might just leave it alone. It drives well.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It drives well. But so, and that's what I like, that's the whole thing about it, right? It's like the chassis is so good. Like, what do you do to make it better?
You just drive it. It's the comp chassis. You don't change it. So, right? Like, so remember like how we go to comps and you're struggling and you're trying to tune your car. It's just a different surface. I think that's what I like about it the most. It's like just having a chassis and you drive it wherever and it's drivable. There's no, you can't, so there's no adjustment in the suspension. So you're just like, just run it, put different tires on, call it good.
Right. Oh,
Actually, it's driver mod at that point, right? Which is, that's what I find the coolest thing about it is you have to drive it actually instead of like buying, you need big bores or you need a different upper or lower arm so it drives better at a certain track.
right. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without breaking anything.
What are we doing? You're switching cameras.
Yeah. Unpin me. Make me bigger. Wow, that sounded weird. Pin. Oh, that's not one. Okay. Nope. We're gonna do it the other way. That's not working out how I want it. Well, hold on. Hold on.
All right, Adam's about to get super techie.
Not really. But you can talk about something.
I could. Should we go through the topics or the topics and questions?
Oh shoot, you're upside down. Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
start knowing those topics.
All right. So this question is from Cameron. What's the best low motor chassis?
I think my
Uh,
original answer to him was a Galm.
but is it the GOM because it's already the way it is and it's a GOM, or I feel like low motor chassis setup. Hmm. I would say the original YD2.
YD2E.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, we all comp with that chassis way back when.
No,
And
some people will never know that frustration of the rear end coming around too fast.
right.
Some people will never know. Oh,
Well, so that's like a that question. I would like to answer it like if we actually tried driving low mounted motors nowadays.
I
Like
mean, Alex does.
we-
Alex does.
Alex F.
Yeah.
Oh
That's-
yeah, because he's in that YD2.
That's his new. That's his new comp car. That's what he's been competing with.
It's gonna come down to tuning because I feel like uh, double audio, Adam.
Yeah.
Echo.
It's because I have the other camera going as well.
So, but yeah, for me to answer that, I might try. It's all gonna come down to tuning. It's hard to choose. I have a hard time choosing a chassis to say, oh yeah, the low motor, high motor, because depending on tuning, I can say right now that between the RDXs that I've driven, some of those cars are low motor setup
Mhm.
versus my high motor setup, and they do drive differently. But I can say that um, there's a pros and cons between them. It's not just like oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna pick my high mount over that.
Yeah. So the three chassis that I recommended to him are Galm and PDS Mix. So Yusakani PDSL, PDS Mix. Yeah, Lance. So the hilarious thing is that what I did with my PDS is I kept it low motor because it was a mix, so you can go low motor or high motor. And then what ended up happening is that high motor for me felt like absolute crap. And then what I did is I added a little 30-gram weight where like the weight should be rolling. And man, that thing is fire. Like it still is. Jordan is the one that competes with it now. And he's been doing pretty well. Like not the greatest, but he still did 3 rounds at the last competition? Last round competition?
Oh, I would say this. Yeah, chat. Put in what your low or your best low mounted or low motor mounted chassis.
Speaking
I know
of
that
not
PDSL.
So here on screen, I've got my little Frankenstein mini thing. This is what I've been having fun with lately, and it's got the Yokomo ST, the LTS knuckles. So this is pretty. I haven't driven it yet, so I'm curious of how it's going to handle. It'll be interesting. Let's see. FMX2. Really? I mean,
And see that's what I'm saying. Like we can ask 10 people what the best low motor is, and we're gonna have a few different answers.
RMX can hang out with people or hang out with people. My RMX can hang out with people too. It's really nice.
So, and there you go. There's your answer. There's gonna be multiple different chassis for sure.
Well, and it's interesting, right? Because it's all to the point of like how well does this person drive this chassis, right?
Or how well they can tune their car.
Right. and it's like tuning to them, right? Because we were talking the other week, like how well a certain person can drive their own car, but when you drive their car, it kind of feels like crap.
Hmm.
But yet when they drive it, they're stupidly fast with it, and you have no idea how.
Well, so like when I drove James's car at PDX, I was like, holy cow, like I don't know how he drives this. And then the more I drove it, the more I got a feel for it. And yeah, so this Friday, that's all I did is chase with that driving style. And that's pretty cool.
Hey,
So
that's my RDX. John hates it. Okay. um. So okay.
oh, go back. And then
I'm
aluminum hexes, what's the story?
yeah,
And
yeah.
axle.
Okay, so
I think this is a pretty good topic
yeah,
just
because
because I went through it recently.
if you don't know, then you don't know, right? So
Mhm.
for all of our chassis, at least I would say standard chassis today, right? Um, we have an axle that comes out that's usually 5 millimeters, and then it like the actual threading is 4 mil, right? Like
Mhm.
it changes, right? So there are different hexes that you can get that are produced differently, right? The
Mhm.
Yokomo ones are meant to go around that 5 mil, like actually fit on it properly, so you can get the pin to set properly. Um, I had a guy ask me why the Intigi hexes that are on Super G's website they don't fit, and it's probably because they're meant for like a old style 4 millimeter barrel or a 4 millimeter axle, like all the way through.
Mhm.
So, and those are the things. Like you got to be careful with it because if they don't fit, then like you're out like that 14, 15,
Mhm.
$30 depending on which ones you buy, right? So like my ultimate answer for this one is either stick with the Yokomo ones. Oh, are we dropping?
Possibly. But so with that, right? Like aluminum hexes versus plastic. Now that we're on this topic.
Well, I mean, it's not. Sorry, it wasn't aluminum or it wasn't versus, right? It was the
I know
fact
I'm
of.
making it.
Oh, okay. So what? One more thing. So like, I would say stick with Yokomo or even stick with the RDX ones, the one that has like the O ring that you go over the pin with. Those are interesting, but I mean,
Uh, quick note on those. They're actually they're bigger than your factory Yokomo one.
like they're
So
wider,
no, like they're bigger hole wise.
but so they fit, right? Like that.
Um, I'd have to double check that because I know there's a reason why I bought a set of them. I'll get into that in a little bit or later tonight. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as so also like because I don't want to answer that because I'm not particular on or I don't remember why I had to buy those instead of just running a Yokomo one. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe on the RDX, the hex or the drive shaft in the rear is weird. It's got a bigger axle or drive shaft that's coming out from the hub. But
Mm-hmm.
um, also there's the Yokomo adjustable front axles, so you don't have to switch hub or hexes. They're adjustable. So you just switch the washers to go in front or in the back or the inner of the front knuckles, and that would give you your offset instead of like switching the hexes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then RevD has one too, but I prefer the Yokomo one.
The
Just 'cause-
the Yokomo ones are easier because it's a washer based, right? Or a
yep.
spacer based. The
Mhm.
the Rev D one deals with like stacking different offsets on the
Yep.
actual hex. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm all for the Yokomo one as well.
Now between aluminum hexes versus plastic.
Plastic is better because they flex and they create more traction.
Yeah, so you get
Fight
less
me.
vibration.
Fight me.
No. I mean that's where I was going with that because on the RDX I did put the aluminum hexes that I bought. and I instantly took them off after about 10 laps.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, uh, yeah, that's why everything that I have on the RDX is factory, and I didn't replace those with aluminum. I mean, I'm still running like the fake brake rotors on there as my hexes.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
that
what?
and
But
looks cool.
why are they making them, right? Like, why are they making the aluminum parts?
Well, so the aluminum parts is supposed to give you more precision, um, and it's supposed to give you a little bit more rotating mass on the lower side of your chassis, and it's functional, right? It's aluminum hex.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why they made it. It's all about precision. So it spins better. It's not as wobbly, and people are breaking those plastic rotors because they're over tightening it.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear one of mine kind of crack a little bit. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I just wanted to make sure we cover that. Aluminum hexes are cool. Aluminum parts are cool, but there is always a place and function for each and every one of them.
What
I
it?
believe.
What is rotor hex? Rotor hex. All the.
Oh, it's the factory, like it looks like a brake rotor, and it's the hex. It's for the RDX.
Oh, oh,
Mhm.
oh. You mean how MST did it? Actually, did Yokomo do it first?
There was a Yokomo upgrade at one point. D-Like also did the plastic hexes because they had the fake rotors.
Yeah, and I know that when MST started off with their FXX series of stuff, they included actual metal disc brakes for the cars. So there were 6 millimeter
I think I have a
standard.
set of those.
And then if you didn't put on the right wheels, like if you put on speedway wheels, then it would actually end up rubbing up against the plastic and wearing away the plastic. And yeah,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I remember that.
remember that brand name, Speedway?
Speedway Pal. I do have a set of wheels from Speedway Pal still.
Hmm. I think
TU37s.
Matthew
Love those.
had crap. What are they called? They're the wheels that Damien has on his G35. Like
Couldn't
those
tell you.
wheels. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Besides the point. Okay, moving on. When setting up your Futaba receiver when you don't have an S-Bus adapter, don't forget that the bottom port of the receiver is an S-Bus port. It's not channel 1 for your receiver. Cameron made that mistake the other day. Or earlier this week. So just keep in mind that the S-Bus port, like, it does send information across it, but it is not the actual channel 1 for your car. I think the overall problem is that he moved like everything down instead of so everything just wasn't working for him. However, it was getting power just because that's how it works.
Follow-up question on that. On the Futaba servos, they plug it in on channel. Oh no, hang on. Nah, never mind.
So yes, on channel 1, because if you're running
Yeah, it's
AccuVents,
on the gyro, right? So
well,
you have your GYD 550. So the GYD 550 goes to channel 1. So yeah, disregard my question.
well, I mean, but for those who don't know, right? Because
Okay.
that's why we have this stream. So for those who don't know, like, S-Bus information can go across channel 1 and the S-Bus port. If you're actually doing the AccuVants way, like all the electronics from AccuVants, then you're going to do channel 1 into the gyro and then to the servo, like all in a series circuit there. It'll communicate perfectly fine. It knows what it's doing. However, rewind. And then you'll use the S-Bus port for the S-Bus adapter, which goes to the
For your AccuVents.
ESC. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The opposite way is if you have a Hobby Wing setup, Judd. If you have a Hobby Wing setup, and you still want to run the GYD 550 servo, right? And you have the Futaba radio. So you can run it in channel 1 and use channel 3 for the gain, or you can run it through the S bus port and have the option to do. If you run it through the S bus port, the gyro will give you 5 different profiles that you can choose from. So if you're running on different surfaces, you can pre-program each profile and be able to select each one. However, if you're using AccuVance, then you need to get like the weird S bus splitter thing that you don't actually need because you can run it the other way. So win some, you lose some, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I like having different profiles between Northwest and PDX would be a nice thing. At the same time, I don't think it's too far off to like really be out of like driving for the day because you're stuck tuning. You know what I mean? Like it's not more than just a gyro gain adjustment for me for my cars.
Yeah, like I said, Adam's technical.
That wasn't a technical answer.
Well, I mean, just having different profiles for different tracks, right?
I mean, but I'm saying that I'm not using it.
Oh, you're not using it.
No.
Gotcha. I misunderstood that. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to change between PDX and NWH. Because I can take my car and just drive. It does take a little bit of driving or getting used to the track, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unless you're going to the P tile at Northwest, then you're turning down your gyro a lot. Like a lot. Okay, moving along.
Shocks right up or right side up or upside down.
Does anyone know the answer? John, do you know the answer?
My car is box stock according to how it's built. Right side up.
I mean, but you yourself where it was like, I think I want to try other stuff and like play with other stuff now.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that, right? Because I mean, yeah, I love drifting, but I do get bored every now and then. That's why I'm now into a different, I built a big car again instead of the little car. So the little car is actually on a bench sitting there, retired for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So the right side up, that way you get more weight shift. It's up there. If you do the upside down, your CG is a lot lower because all your wow, I'm blanking out. So all your shock housing is on the bottom and all your fluids on the bottom, which has some weight. So it depends on your setup and how you like to drive or who you're driving with. Because a lot of the time people will do the right side up or the upside down because the next person did it and their car drives better. Or yeah, that's my answer to that.
So the funny thing is that it's actually been appearing in the race buggy world as well.
Yeah, actually, I saw that with Kevin. He was trying it.
And the funny thing is that for them, it's all about keeping that center of gravity low, right? Because everything is carpet. There's not like the chance that you're like losing traction because you're not rolling enough, right? So yeah, like I think for us, right? It's more about, just like you said, it's the weight placement, right?
Yeah.
Alex is actually saying that it changes the rebound as well. Yeah, I could believe that, especially with the dampening, like the tapered pistons. If you don't change those upside down and you're running your shocks upside down, then that could be a thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Even more
your
so.
Fluid's lower too, right? So your fluid's lower, and basically instead of trying to push up into the fluid, you're pushing down into it.
Mm-hmm. But think of this: your shocks will never leak unless you have really bad bladders.
True. Or you blow them out like I did.
Well, so that was the thing. Like a long time ago, I ran my shocks upside down just so my shocks wouldn't leak because I was tired of that.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just like an everyday thing. Just leaky shocks aren't that bad.
Yeah, true.
I mean, they just require being rebuilt. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I still need to build the big bores on the Mini.
But to go a step further on this whole topic, right? just think about why RevD is selling the PC springs. That's the whole entire reason right there. Just a few coils, because we're talking about the PC RevD springs, which has a tighter coil or a bunched up coil on one side, and then the other side is just like a linear corner, right? Or a linear spring. I don't actually know if they're progressive, because if you look at the winding, because the number of turns is what dictates the like amount of compression in a spring, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So if you look at the like what we call the linear side versus like the progressive side, they're the same coil, right? They're the same wind.
Yeah.
They're just bunched up on one side. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure if they're actually progressive or not, but they call them PC springs. Okay. Anyway, so just by flipping the springs up or down, right, it'll allow your car to either like have more traction, like with the coils on the lower side, or if you flip them up like to the top, it allows your car to be to roll easier and to be able to transition or kick out, as the little piece of paper would say. So like just think of that little of a weight change is going to make the difference in the car, and it does. It's hilarious that it does. And now we're sticking motors and batteries up there too, like even
Mhm.
higher than the line of center of gravity. So it's hilarious and kind of cool of what we're doing.
Yep. Like I said earlier, it's all about how you drive and your tuning.
Okay, last question that came from Azza. Um, could you cover setup station types, or setup stations, types, benefits, and costs? Okay, this one's a little bit tough, right? Only in the idea that it makes things a lot more complicated than they should be. Okay. Now, John, like, have you've used my setup station, right?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay. So if you don't know what a setup station is it's basically a combination of uh usually they're made out of aluminum, and it will measure your camber, your caster, and as long as it comes with it, you can also measure like the amount of toe out that you have on either side. Um, I'm sure there's more things that you can do to it, but for what it's worth, you set it up on all four corners, and you make sure that your surface is nice and flat, and you can adjust all four corners at the same time instead of just focusing on one wheel, making sure that your car is even on all four corners, or however you want to tune your car, right?
Mhm.
Here's my thing, because you went through a time where you would constantly annoy me when you would say I need to mic my camber links, because what I know or what I think is that if you make sure that your car is equal length, like just by the amount of distance between the turnbuckle to the plastic rod, it's not the same because tolerances are different, right?
Mhm.
That's why it annoyed me. So that's why I would always just refer to get your camber gauge out, because that's going to be a better measurement of actual camber. So going deeper into that, using a setup station, honestly, like your standard camber tool is more than enough for that. Um, when you get into setup stations, it's more about making sure that each side is equal. So the only real thing and the only real benefit that I see where you need it or should need it is when you have active components like active rear toe. Because we don't have an easy way to see like how much toe out or toe in that you are on either side if all we're doing is turning and turnbuckle, right? There's no set like on the Yokomo toe blocks, right? We have certain pills that we can put in that dictate a very specific measurement that gives us like 1 degree of toe out, half a degree of toe out, or toe in,
Mhm.
right? On the rear. Whereas on active rear toe, it's all done by a twist of a turnbuckle, right? So you
Yep.
never know. Um, that's that's all that I've really used my tuning station for, or setup station for, is that. um, Andy, I got the AM Aeromax station and a Huddy board. It took all the guesswork out of the alignment and allowed for equal toe left and right. Yeah, it's great. I mean,
So for me, the setup stations are great, right? Sure, we can be more precise on when we tune our cars and whatnot. Um, just depending on the price, for me, that's what it came down to. Like if you're drifting and you want to buy more upgrades versus like, oh yeah, there's a setup board. I think what are they, like $100 or $50, $100, right around there?
for setup boards,
Yeah.
it depends, because if all you're looking for is a blank piece of something, then it can be pretty reasonable, right? Like 20
Mhm.
bucks. But so the stupid carbon fiber one that I have is like retail 150,
Hmm.
which thank goodness I didn't pay retail for that.
Well, so here's a question. Let's classify a setup board. Are we talking about a basic flat sheet of whatever?
No,
That's a
I'm
flat?
talking about the overdose with the degrees.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, right? So just to clarify, setup board is the one that has all the lines and things like that. That's a setup board with the things that you put on your where your wheels would go, so you can do camber, caster, toe in and toe out. So yeah, those are setup boards. I tried using one time, and like you said, it does make things a little bit more complicated, but you do get the precision of setting up your car that it actually shows you, hey, this is how much toe in, toe out you have. I'm not a fan. If I get a flat surface, like I have a plexiglass from a friend. I got two of them now. That's what I use as my setup board. I use my ice, so I eyeball everything for the most part, except for my camber, and even then, I could kind of get close. Um, I just got used to tuning that way, and like not using a setup board.
Mm.
Just
So I guess here's where I'll put it. Setup stations are cool. Setup boards are cool.
Mhm.
Don't bring them to the track. Because if you bring them to the track, then you're just going to be spending all of your time just trying to put it up, make sure that everything's right, doing all the fun stuff. Well, I guess it's not fun anymore, because like if you're using your tuning station, then you're trying to accomplish something that should have been accomplished elsewhere. Unfortunately, like
like I said, they're great for what they're made for, but I haven't had the need to use one.
Mhm.
Like
yeah.
like,
The one that I have is the Yeah Racing one from like forever ago. I think I paid like $120 or something for it. Yeah, like it works. When I cross track it with a camber gauge, it matches, right? So
right.
that's all that
Well,
matters.
and that's the thing. That's why I'm like, I really want a cool, like when you had yours, I really want a cool setup board. And then like you're like, hey, just use mine. And then I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me.
I mean,
No.
okay. So what I mean by not bringing it to the track is that like if you get so caught up in like not in tuning your car to the point where you feel like you need a tuning station, then something's way more off like with your car than what it should be. Or if you're resulting to the fact that you need a tuning station to be able to make your simple adjustments like camber, then you're overthinking it way too much. Like
Mhm.
everything that can be done at the track can be done with a simple camber gauge. Like both camber and caster you can do with a camber gauge. Like
Mhm.
and it all depends on just how you measure it, right? So as long as you have a consistent way of measuring it to what you do and what you think it is, like what you think is right. Like I could have a completely different way of tuning a shock, right?
Yeah.
Than John does, right? But both will yield like good results as long as you know what you're doing, or as long as you're consistent and it matches your driving style.
And like I said, I'm not saying I'm like don't get one, but if you have one, great. It makes a little bit makes the tuning a little bit more precise. Um, but as of lately, I haven't used one. I literally show up to the track with the RDX ready to go. I can't change anything, so I just change tires or, you know,
Keep
change my
in
driving style.
keep in mind though, because these setup stations were developed for touring cars, right?
Yes, they
So
are.
we're
Touring car, and I think some buggies are using them too.
yeah. Just
Mhm.
things that
It's
go fast.
it's developed for racing.
Yeah, it's things that go fast and can really actually do a lot of good if you pay attention that closely.
Mhm.
Like, yes, we do care about our tuning. Like, there's no discredit to like our tuning skills for our drift cars, because some of the racers that like have come into the drift world are better drivers now than they were before because of either knowing how to tune their car now or just being able to tolerate like going sideways in a drift car,
Mhm.
or it royally messes them up. So
One of the two, right?
yeah, so like, and Kevin brought it up like at the fun comp, where it's like you guys would be great at nitro just because of the throttle control that it takes to do nitro, which that's not the first time I've heard that. So I do think that's interesting.
Yeah, the problem I have with racing is it's just too fast for me.
And yet at the same time, Andy's up there like all like wigging out because of the nerves, and he races, and that's his thing. Good instinct for the alignment stuff. So back in the day, I used to set my when we were at zero camber game, right? And I said game, not gain. I meant game. uh, but I would set my Allen wrench upright, and I would use that as my zero camber gauge. And if I needed a little bit more negative camber, then I would just eyeball like a certain amount of distance from the straight edge. That's how I did my alignment back in the day, and it
I
worked.
remember that day or those days.
Right?
I used that too. Oh, remember back in the day where everything has to be zero camber for the rear at least?
Dude,
And
that's
then
Afro
people
days,
started
man.
doing Afro days, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're like -4 in the rear, -9 on the front.
I mean, but keep in mind, our tires have changed dramatically too.
Yes, we're no longer running. What are they? ABS
Yeah.
tires or the
So
Kubros tires?
think how fast we would have been on Two Bros tires if we applied the same concept today to those tires, because those had really, really hard shoulders.
Yeah, but the compound is different too.
Right, right. But if we're saying that DRCs are best run on their edge because of the sharp corner, then the Two Bros would be even more sharp.
Yeah, but I think the compound will still play huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay, so that's all the questions that came up. If you have any more questions, throw them in the Discord.
Or the actual chat. That
Yeah,
way we can all see it.
yeah. If you are in Discord, preferably the topics and ideas board or disc room, because that'll keep it nice and organized. Other than that, okay. Let's do, I don't know. Do you want to see any of the cars? Do you want to see any of my cars?
Yeah, let's talk about your which one? The Yogi.
You want to see the Yogi? Okay.
We're gonna do Adam will show off his car.
Not show off.
Or well, okay, showcase. Can you like name all the can you do all the pricing too on all the parts that's on there? Oh, I guess you didn't hear that.
No, what?
I said you should price all the parts that you
Oh,
have.
okay. Or do we want to do that?
Uh, DJ said he wants to see RMX.
RMX or Yogi?
Let's do RMX and then let's talk about the Yogi.
Okay.
We gotta give the people what they want. Oh, he didn't hear that too because he stepped away from the headphones. Oh, so oh, you're back.
What?
No, so we because I was like, we gotta give the people what they want to see.
Right.
I was gonna talk about my adventure this morning.
You had an adventure?
Well, yeah, always. Every Saturday morning something happens, something cool.
Was it a drug bust?
No.
Then it's
So
not cool.
so this morning I wake up kind of late, get ready for work, went and grab a breakfast burrito. On my way to work, there's two cul-de-sacs by work, so it's pretty easy. I didn't think I have enough time to do anything crazy, but I went drifting this morning. And with my current setup on tires and wheels, it felt really good. Like the drift was a drift, like how it should be. So I just want to share that I had a good morning drift. It's like wake and bake, but it's like wake and drift.
You would get so destroyed in the anti-Dean's chat, man. Anyway,
The anti-what chat?
the chat that you're not a part of
Oh yeah.
for good reason. Okay.
It was a private cul-de-sac.
Okay, you guys. Here is a RMX D VIP. Yeah.
Hey, could you move the camera up a little bit?
What do you mean
Or
up?
move the car down towards you a little bit. A little bit more.
It's
bit
back.
more.
It's backwards. You mean
Oh, so
away?
move it like move it away from you. Let's see.
Yeah, hold on. Let me move my Corsair keyboard, Lance.
Right there. There you go.
Hold on. Like up here.
Up, down.
No, just you gotta wait.
Oh, that's true. Super delay.
Okay. Okay. So things to know about this car. This car, I think I bought back in like 2016. Was it 2016 or so? I don't know. It was a long time ago. But this is easily my oldest car that I have in my fleet. Yes, I said fleet. One
He's
thing.
got like 10 of them.
No, I don't. I've got 5 now. Oh, so one thing, if you know me, I do not care about like I care about matching parts, but at the same time I care about more um I care more about functionality than I do about matching parts. I could have the wrap up next purple arms on this, but they don't have them anymore. I'm not calling you out, Lance. I just know that you care. Okay. So things about this chassis, it's pretty much got all the original parts on it. In terms of actually, that's a lie. It's got all the upgraded aluminum parts on it. The things that are original though are these shocks, upper like the original TR56s before anyone knew what TR56s were. And okay, we're sticking to manual focus because this camera doesn't know what it's doing. And for you, John, here's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I've got this cheapo. I mean, that's a fan. Absolutely cheap XR10 stock edition ESC. Okay. And I've got the Phantom Racing V4 Ion 17.5 motor in this thing. And it flies. like I don't know if it's literally just the chassis conversion, because it does have the Razor chassis conversion and it's super flexy. Like, it is legit flexy. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, because like I remember back in the Kong days, I could never get the car like just settled down where it would just like keep a corner without being like on the wit's end of just, like spinning out, right?
Mm-hmm. See, I hate like talking about. Well, I don't hate it. It's just like inside me is like, man, if we just knew what we were doing back then, like we would have been like flying around that track.
Well, I mean, if we would have spent as much time as we do now, right? Like,
Well, no, because even then we spent a lot of time tuning and playing and drifting. Like if we weren't drifting there, we're drifting somewhere else.
right, but
Um,
we were still in like garage day, right? Or like at Saniam on carpet, right?
yeah,
So we were kind of cheating because we were on carpet.
kind of. But I mean, just the knowledge that we have now, things that we've experienced that we're like, okay, that doesn't work. This doesn't work. Because back then I felt like when we were new, people were throwing, information to us, and we're like, that doesn't, because we would try it and it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like the steering angle, or the zero camber, or the -2 negative, whatever.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, it didn't work, but also we were trying to drive all day, and it's like, okay, I got to go back to my old setup because I was driving that.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Well,
we drove around, like when I had the like you said, you can only drive your car because they always feel like it's gonna spin out, so you were driving slower around a corner.
mm,
So I don't
like,
know. I felt like I wish we had the same talents and skill set that we have now back then. So I think we could have had more fun. But at the same time, if we didn't experience those times, we wouldn't be where we're at now.
yeah, 100%, right?
So
Okay, so funny quirks about this car. This car has the absolute least amount of steering at lock. Like to be able to keep the freedom of motion up front. And if you see me, like if I'm working on your car and we're talking about like steering lock and you see me bouncing your car like this, it's because I want, like when we're setting your endpoints, I want your car to be able to move while we're like doing all the things that our car does. Because you'll notice that when we're in, like if you go too far on your endpoints, it'll lock up that front end and make it really, really stiff. And the stiffer it is, like if you can't do anything, it's just, well, I mean, your car is not going to be able to transfer weight back to the front end to be able to like initiate a turn or do anything. Or if it's locked up, you could be running, rubbing against like your upper toe or upper camber link. Um,
speaking of endpoints, is there such thing as too much steering on the drift cars?
it depends on what your style is. Because if you look at a fantasy front end, the fantasy front end will actually steer backwards. Like it will legit steer backwards. If you look at like Zach's front end.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, yes, the stock spec still has boost and turbo, and it's only $125, which is why it's, well, I mean, it's a prime.
I
entry.
can't find my ESC, by the way.
You can't find your ESC.
Yeah, my XR10.
What do you mean?
Oh, because I switched to AccuVans on the Mini,
Right.
or I'm all AccuVans now, so I don't know where I put that ESC.
Oh.
Then I'm like, it's somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so back at it, like, yeah. Well, I guess I was talking about two different things. Yeah, XR10 stock spec, $125 off of A main all day long. Excuse me. Has boost, has turbo. Great price point. Does the thing. Anyone that's driven this car knows that it rips around the track like no other. It can keep up. It can do all the things that the other cars can do. Let's see. So, just speaking about the Razor chassis here, because there's a few things that changes. Here, MST was like the first people to actually do the vertical rail system. What Lance and I were talking about last time is that because of the vertical rail and because of how thin they are, they create a lot of flex. And what people are doing is they're putting standoffs in between these 2 points, and you can slide it so that it's actually adjustable in terms of your flexing, your torsional flex. Like it's still going to flex by the bottom, but at the same time it still flexes, like it stiffens up your chassis quite a bit. The other thing that changes about this chassis is this piece right here. It used to be basically just like a simple L because that's all it was, because the pickup point for the steering rack. Oh, the servo would actually be back here essentially. So they move the servo, and it's actually backwards, if you can see there. Like the servo horn is pointing backwards, and that's intentional. But I can't run a Rev D servo in here, that's for sure. By any means. Other fun things, I guess, the 2mm thing that we were talking about last week for the RDX, for the front. I was doing that way before you guys were.
Oh, on the servo horn?
Not the servo horn, but the entire, like, my entire front bulkhead is 2mm raised.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you doing that, but you did the spacers underneath the toe blocks, right?
Not the toe blocks, the actual bulkhead.
Huh.
There's an interesting discussion when would you mess with the chassis flex versus adjust shocks or alignment. So when I was talking to the Razor guy, he basically stated that the flex decks are for people who don't know how to tune their dampers, their shocks. So as far as that goes, you could go as far as saying, just tune your shocks the right way. And honestly, like, there is truth to that too, because my Shark, if I try to run my Shark in any sort of flexi method, my Shark sucks so bad. Like, it's horrible to drive, it's lazy, it doesn't want to do the things that it needs to do. But when I stiffened it, kept it stiff, like put the washers back in the little wings, it came back to life and everything was fine. Which is hilarious that the flex deck is like what makes this chassis so good on the RMX. Like we were saying earlier, like the stock chassis was just so stiff and so unrefined, I guess you could say. Like, hold on, let me get it. Maybe. Okay. So this may look cool, but this is a solid piece of aluminum. This was done by the Drift 15 house before they shut down. So there's probably not too many of these left over. Oh, these shock towers on here are also Drift 15 house, so I know that no one else is going to get those. But yeah, so actually this is a topic in itself, the whole dynamics of like what chassis have become, right? Actually, hold on, let me get another chassis.
Dang, all the chassis.
Okay, who wants to play Name That Chassis? Ready? What chassis is this?
It's delayed.
I know, but yeah, I know.
SX3.
Yep. Okay. Ooh. I'm just gonna go through these. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna tell you, right? Okay. So this is our prototype Midnight Mini deck. This is a YD2 RX chassis. Then we've got the actual Midnight Mini chassis here, just the bottom deck here.
I was confused. I was like, you're wrong, Adam.
What?
Because it's delayed.
I know. The aluminum prototype Midnight Mini chassis.
I still have that. Actually, I still have all of the variation of those Midnight chassis.
This is the YD2 ZX stock chassis. However, I did buy this separate, so I didn't actually get the ZX. I started off with a RX I converted it to a Z transmission, and yeah, did my own Z thing. I still like my way better than they did theirs. And then MC1 deck is what we got here. Okay. So let's stick with the MC1 deck.
I kept mine.
Huh?
I said I sort of wish I kept my MC1. But then again, you twice all the time.
Just look on Baiyi.
No. It's one of those things, it's like you wish you had it and then you have it and you're like, eh.
Okay.
I feel it.
So things I want to focus on, right? Because we're talking about new versus the old. Don't mind the double-sided tape. Okay, so the side is milled, so it looks a little okay. You can see the edges a little bit better. Shop towel.
This is black on black.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So we've got this stupidly old RMX chassis, right? So things that prohibited this chassis from actually functioning, one of them was droop. So if you have ever seen a YD2E and the original like SX chassis or just the YD2 chassis alone, you'll notice that if you're running the narrow toe blocks, you lose a lot of the droop, right? Because your arms will hit like these parts of the chassis, right? So the problem became like, well, my chassis is not able to move, right? So what do? They're going to go ahead and put spacers under your toe blocks to raise it up. And when I built my SX3, you would have seen like those 1 millimeter shims under each of the toe blocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was to give you a little bit more droop. So what the SX3 actually ended up doing on the rear, because when you bought the S, you'd still have that droop problem on the rear. But what they did is that they started doing the extra long D and E blocks, right? So now instead of being like toe blocks here, now we have like toe blocks sticking way the crap out here to be able to create the rear droop. So let's compare it to the MC1 deck. So there's a stock MC1 deck. You'll notice, and it's kind of hard to see just because of the light. Maybe we can do this. Womp. So now we see that everything here is now narrow. And at the back here. So everything is narrow so that we can create that droop, create that chassis roll so that we can get the speed into the corners and exit the corners as we need to. Now, if we compare this to an actual Razor deck, these parts, the front and the back are even more narrow. Okay. And that's how we got into the whole like, oh, let's flip our toe blocks type of thing. Because flipping your toe blocks is going to change your roll center, which is going to give you more roll and give you some more like mechanical grip in and out of the corner. Okay. That went a lot deeper than I wanted it to. But yeah. So like, as far as the evolution of chassis go, like we went from like this wide thing, because like the YD4, if you remember, John, like it was still a pretty wide thing, right? Mm-hmm. Then we went to YD2, and like the frame of the YD2 hasn't really changed all that much. Actually,
you know what chassis I wish I still had?
Wait. Hold on. This. It's a DP chassis, by the way, because you can't see it yet. Or here. There you go. Now you can see it. Original DP chassis, same problems as before, but we made it work. And then this is an old TCFD chassis. Same problems before. And if you look, we actually have the spots where you would limit the amount of droop, which right now we don't want to do. MST was the first to like really eliminate the idea of needing like droop screws. Okay. What chassis did you wish you still had?
The original narrow chassis, or the original D-like chassis when it was still narrow.
It's still narrow.
No, because the new chassis, they're wider. They have the wings on them, or the side flaps.
I mean, that's the
It's
upper
weird,
deck,
like-
right?
Remember? No, I think that's. Let me look. It's been a minute, but I just remember having to cut up my YD2 chassis with the same width as my D-like chassis. Like I actually took a Sharpie and cut it down, or like saw blade or Dremel and cut it down.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's the upper deck that they made wider so you have more. But yeah, I wish I still had that narrow chassis look. I think that's why I like the RDX a lot.
Because it's
'Cause
super
simple
plain.
and it's narrow. Functionality.
Super plain. I mean, honestly, like the RDX to me is not like an aesthetically pleasing chassis. It just works. Like everything about it is
Really weird.
absolute minimalistic, like complete, just the modern look, right?
I think that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
So, but then it's only because it drives well too.
right.
So.
It just drives well. That's really about it.
Mhm.
I still don't know how to lock the. Anyway, whatever. Whatever. Okay. Any other questions, you guys? I'm out of topics. John, do you have any topics?
Nope. Not anymore. If you see me at the comp tomorrow, I'll be
Okay.
there. Say hi.
I'll be there.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it open for another like 30, 45 minute, something like that. And we will call it a session. We will call it done.
Yep.
And then I
So-
can go back to playing Zelda and I can
Charge batteries.
go charge batteries. Actually, honestly, should I bring a car tomorrow or should I just do camera gear and like laptop and stuff?
You have to bring camera gear, car for sure, because you're competing.
Well, okay.
Uh,
So without cars, right? So camera gear, laptops, plural. Yes, plural.
Mhm.
And then speaker stand,
Mike.
mics.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then just
But
to
yeah, definitely bring a car tomorrow. You're competing.
I'm
We
not
know this
commu-
already.
No.
You're on a list of competitors.
Yeah,
Ask Jake.
but I can exit that out. I'm just on the list for other reasons. Rundown of where we enter for the expo, front or around the back. Okay, yeah. It'll be around the back. You are going to pay for parking. I will let you know that. Either side, front or back. You are going to pay for parking.
Mhm.
Technically, call time is at 10 o'clock. Yeah, we're going to be setting up tracks, so use your best discretion of when you want to show up. But as far as like the competition goes, everything's going to be kind of flying by the seat of our pants, to be honest. But yes, if you go around to the backside of the expo, you should be like, you shouldn't have too much trouble trying to get in because you should be on a list. And as long as you're on that list, and if you use not your real name and just like a call sign or your driver's name, make sure that, and you didn't change how it shows up, then make sure that you use that screen name or your call sign, because that's how you're gonna get in. Like,
Cool.
I didn't actually change mine, so yeah. Okay. That's it. I think we're done. I think
All right,
we're done.
guys. We'll see you at the expo center tomorrow.
Yep. Yep. Bring your game faces. Bring your cars. Have fun. No drama. If there is drama, then you're going to be ejected pretty darn fast. Respect the judges. And yeah.
Science Lounge.
Oh, actually, we are getting some pretty cool swag for prizes tomorrow, and I'll see if I can pick up some other cool stuff for first, second, and third, alongside our nifty little plaques. So,
Sweet.
gotta catch them all.
Right.
Okay, all right, you guys. It's been fun. You guys have a good evening. Later.